Hi, welcome to this episode of Founder's Journey. And today we have Timothy Lee on this episode. How are you, Tim?
I am doing great, Jeff. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah. So we have known each other for a long time. Never met. This is our first time meeting, right? But we
Yes.
have like comment on each other's posts on LinkedIn, follow each other's journey,
Yes.
and now we get to do a podcast together.
Yes. Isn't that awesome? So I reached out to you because I've seen your podcast um one live, I don't know, a few months ago. Certainly late latter half last year. I follow your journey, putting all that gear behind you together as well. I think you were surveying the crowd on what to put in there. So and reach out to
Crowdsourcing.
Yeah, outsourcing, crowdsourced. Exactly. I reached out to you a couple of weeks ago and say, "Hey, can I get on your podcast?" And so I'm grateful to be part of it.
So I'll let you do your own background introduction, but if those of you starting to listen to this podcast, jump over to LinkedIn, open up your LinkedIn, and follow Timothy Lee on LinkedIn, last name spelled L-I. And then he has 39 experiences on LinkedIn that we might dive into here and there, but just a lot of background. I mean, sometimes I see five, sometimes I see 15, but 39 is a lot of accomplishment. So love for you to jump in and talk about what you've
Yeah,
done in the past and the new thing you're working on.
yeah, there might be some psychosis behind all of that, right? So maybe some of the viewers, listeners can 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 psychoanalyze that a little bit. I'll have to see some comments there as well. But Jeff, you and I are, are men of God, I suppose, right? I mean, we sometimes trade some comments or materials online in an open form. Maybe I can open up this podcast with a short prayer, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today, guide our thoughts and words with wisdom and grace. Help us listen attentively to each other and work together productively towards a positive outcome. We pray in your name. Amen. Thank you, Jeff. All right. So, Jeff, very pleased to be a part of this. And happy Chinese New Year. My God, it's in 2 days, isn't it? In a day or two, Lunar New Year. So,
Yeah, my
background,
biggest struggle is what to eat.
what, yes, yes, it's like our I don't know how to compare this, but it's almost like our Thanksgiving, right? Family get together,
Thanksgiving, New
lots of
Year's,
food,
Christmas, all of it.
Christmas all rolled into one. It's a big holiday. So, anyways, my background is very, other than 39 experiences, I'm a immigrant founder. I came to the United States, gosh, in 1993, as a kid. My mother was already here in San Francisco, so I landed in San Francisco, grew up in San Francisco. Um, I made a comment the other day. I was so fortunate to, grew up in San Francisco in the 90s. It's a magical city back in the days. So, in high school, I did a bunch of computer work. That was when was first introduced. Personal computer, personal computing was first sort of mass marketed. Just fell in love with coding and computers and all that stuff. So I did a bunch of startups in high school with a bunch of folks on the East Coast. Went to college, studied engineering, did a bunch of startups while I was in college as well. Went to grad school in Southern California. That's where I live now. Did more engineering work, and I worked for Intel for a while building microprocessors. And got recruited by JP Morgan to build early versions of online banking back in the days. Chase.com, Chase app, a lot of the in branch as well as online systems. So that's how I fell in love with banking technology. If anybody can really love that kind of stuff, and just did that for consistently for 20 years. Met a lot of really good people. Stayed in the industry. Built, sold, still owns a bunch of companies around financial technology or banking technology. And the latest creations that I have is Len API. We built a do-yourself, almost like a WordPress styled system where anybody can come in and build a online digital onboarding system. Could be auto loans, could be insurance, could be mortgages, could be whatever you want to piece together. It's pure do yourself, and it sits on top of a reasoning or decisioning engine, which plugs into your first party, third party data. You can write any type of rules as you want. It's all running real time, and it's things built to handle multiple millions of transactions a day. So we're fortunate to have a lot of clients working with us, and recently we raised or closed our seed round investment from some awesome VCs in New York City to do more of what I love to do, which is building technology for financial services, broadly speaking. That's the short of it, Jeff.
Yeah, give us a whole journey. What sparked the idea? What problem did you see that was there that needed this idea? And
Yeah,
what make you think you could solve it? Of course, your technical background and your mortgage industry background really help. But
yeah,
you and I were talking offline. You had stayed with Loan Depot for a while. You were at Loan Depot and worked with Anthony over there. Anthony
yeah,
is a guy that I admire, building in the startup world. So love for you to go into any of it if you feel comfortable with it. And
yeah. No, absolutely.
you
I
work with
still
some of the titans in the industry. You worked at, Loan Depot. You worked at you as an advisor. I saw advisor role with Lending Tree. So, what led you to this idea that you saw?
sure.
Thank you for watching this video. Now a quick message from our sponsor, Mav.
Thanks, Jeff. I want to let you all in on a secret that top producing agencies don't want you to know about. If you're in P&C insurance, you know firsthand how much you're getting squeezed by your call center. It's becoming less predictable and less economically profitable to scale. But here's the thing. The top producing agencies making over $100 million are not running their leads through a human-based call center. They're running them through an AI expert like Mav to qualify, quote, and hand deliver the highest intent qualified leads to your agents. Mav takes care of the back and forth, having unlimited 24/7 conversations with your leads that are personal and relevant so you can scale to the moon. Ready to ditch your call center and 10x your agency? We're giving the listeners of insurtech's $15,000 worth of credit to try Mav. Head to hiremav.com/insurtechs to claim this offer.
Yeah, great question. I worked at JP Morgan Chase for a long time before, during, and after the downturn, the 2007, 2008, 2009 downturn. So there I saw firsthand on, technology from Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual, certainly JP Morgan Chase and Bank One, and had the pleasure of merging a lot of these technologies together from just pure software perspective all the way to some of the logic behind how Chase does things. Um, when Jamie Dimon says he's going to spend $80 billion a year or a quarter for technology, he's not kidding. He's actually for reals, right? There was a lot of technology at JP Morgan Chase from day one when I joined to make a stand in the industry that says we're going to come out with Chase.com first. We're going to come out with Chase app for iPhone first. And they certainly spend a lot of time and energy and people and money there in technology. It's a big technology company. I'm not fluffing Jamie Dimon's, whatever, but it's real. I learned a lot. We got to build a lot of stuff. Basically, whatever we built, here's a IP attorney, talk to them, and we can file patents. And I have a couple of them with JP Morgan Chase. So had a lot of fun doing that kind of stuff. And then in the, I want to say in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, fintech, financial technology become a thing. A lot of the banking folks like me sort of went into that market and help out to build. So I spent time in personal loans, crowdfunding, real estate, small business lending. I kind of just dabbled in just about everything that was fintechable, if that's even a word, for the past 10 years or so. And nobody has $80 billion to spend. So a lot of people are trying to build some of these decisioning logic, decisioning engine, if you will, third-party connectivity, API calls, and workflows, for the back office and front end flows. This is true in insurance as well. And I see an opportunity where I said, you know what? I've been working in fintech 3, 4, 5, 39 experiences, and I find myself, Jeff, building the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I said, stop, let me build it once, makes it flexible enough so I can just lease it back to you. It should be as easy as, again, using the WordPress as an example, go on to WordPress or go on to GoDaddy, get a domain, using the templates to build something and launch it yourself without any technical skills. So that's what I set out to do, and just say, hey, can I minimize or sort of obfuscate some of this complexity and make it into a WordPress style kind of a tool to help fintech or insurtech folks come in and build whatever they want to build and press the button to launch, to reduce the time to market, reduce the amount of time and money they have to spend to launch a new business. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And we launched it. We have, lots of customers using our tool, and we have no shortage of people testing it out. You can literally go onto our website, lendingap.com, sign up, and start using it. So that's what I'm set out to do, to solve the problem that I saw for the past 10, 15 years, and also creating something that is easy to use, light to use, but have all the complexity behind the scenes that you would need to run a JP Morgan Chase, if you will. So that's what we built, and that's the motivation behind it, just to have a different way of life. So if somebody wants to start a fintech company or an insurance tech company, they don't have to think about it. They can go to our version of WordPress and build it themselves.
So you saw everybody struggling because they don't have $80 billion JP Morgan, and you're going to build software for them to use. That's going to be decision making. These days, when you talk to venture capital guys, if you don't mention the word AI somehow in your pitch deck, you're not getting a second look.
Yeah.
What's the special sauce in what you're building?
Yeah, great question. So I just finished raising this round back in November, a couple of months ago. I did about 300 plus calls, got about 3 investors writing us a check. So these investors all come from financial services. They understand how important AI is, but they also understand that vast majority of the banks and community banks or fintechs are still trying to solve version 0.1 type of issues, right? Let alone AI. We certainly have a strategy behind it to go to market with a lot of AI tools that's going to be coming on board on our platform. So, for example, banks, sometimes they don't even have a apply now button on their website. It's a contact us button, short form, name, address, phone number, and a branch manager will call the applicant to come into the branch to deal with whatever they need to deal with, right? It's happening today. So our investors are saying, well, we have all these problems to solve for: banking, fintech, even some of the retailers that want to go and do embedded finance. They don't have the tools to do it. Let's solve for that problem first. Once we have enough problems, see a pattern, AI or whatever automation will come in naturally. So that was our agenda. That was certainly my agenda. I did not raise. There's no word like AI in my pitch deck. None of that was mentioned. And I can't say I'm pride myself into raising money without AI, but we certainly have an agenda. But the people that we solve problems for, and the capital is behind us solving these type of problems, are so far from AI. They're trying to just get online, get a digital experience, connect with their customers in a digital way before AI comes in and automate some of these things. Again, we're trying to solve some version 1.0.1 type of issues before we get there.
And some of these issues, I'm assuming providing mobile app, replicatable way.
Yeah, mobile experience. Lots of folks are still making decisions in a manual way, right? They will print out credit reports, they will read some kind of a bank statement, and they still have to make a manual decision. It's inconsistent, and it's full of compliance issues. So step one, let's automate some of this stuff. Let's capture data in a consistent way. Let's call the bureaus on every single one of the applications. Let's send out the right consent, promissory notes, contracts, whatever it might be, so we can track everything. Just logging the activities alone will uplift some of the compliance issues that our customers may have. Simple things like that, let alone automated decisioning, pulling data from Plaid, making decisions on cash flow variables, right? And make a real-time offer and let the applicant sign everything through and complete that transaction online, right? We're one step at a time for our clients, but everything, if they want to go to Lightspeed, our platform supports it. If they just want to automate certain aspects of their decisioning process, for example, we have large real estate financing, commercial real estate financing companies, right? However you want to automate, they still have to adjudicate this property, right? Using their experience to kind of finish the application, but we provide all that automation and or pseudo automation, so to speak, for a variety of different people.
So you guys providing solution for residential checking account and commercial checking account, and you tie it to their own banking product. What happens when they don't have a commercial banking product? You just outsource it, aggregate it,
Yeah, so
exchange it.
yeah, right. So for example, one of the banks we work with, we launched a new credit card for them. So while they're onboarding the credit card, we're also opening up a checking account for them as well, right? So twofer. So if so I just talked to somebody this right before this call. This is a big payments company for basically in the logistics industry. They do trucking basically. So now with all the new administration, the additional tariff, when these truckers go from A to B, right, especially across the southern border, it may take them longer to get paid because they get paid at the end, right? So, but between now and then, they need fuel money, they need to live, right? So how do we finance these people, right? So this company called us and said, hey, we need to build up a embedded finance kind of a thing in our payments platform so we can issue these almost like an account receivable financing for these truckers or logistics people to get paid something before they see their final paycheck upon final delivery. And this time is being lengthened with some of the policies that we have in place right now with the current administration. But so you can build anything you want. It could be for a client that have an existing relationship in a commercial way, or something brand new that wants to establish multiple relationships, whether it's a credit card, a checking account, or a embedded finance kind of experience and a digital wallet. So we can do these multi-products all day long, with or without a relationship with our existing customers, whether the applicants have an existing relationship with the customers or not, with the client or not.
You guys have a place for traffic on insurance?
Boy, we want to try to get into insurance in such a bad way. Yeah, so if anybody that listens to this podcast, if you want to launch a new insurance kind of a online onboarding thing on the back end, you can plug into all of the insurance, actually reinsurers or insurers. We can build all that for you. So we're looking for a beta or a design partner. That's what they call it nowadays, right? To go into insurtech. It's all ready to go, ready to made. You can build anything you want. I joke with people, you can collect lunch money on this platform if you build something out, but definitely looking for a partner in insurtech, insurance, if you will. So if anybody wants
Some ideas, we probably could chat offline.
yeah. You know what? We have a little bit of a insure play that when we offer a lending product, when our client offers a lending product, we are talking to some embedded insurance folks to offer the insurance products at the same time. We have some partners on our website, Walnut, for example. There's a lot of interesting insurance play there to insure could be, if they do an ADU additional dwelling unit financing, could add something like that. Or there's a lot of insurance products that can insure unemployment or underemployment. If they take out a personal loan, there's a little bit of insurance that can cover 1 or 2 or 3 missed payments on their personal loan. So there's some play there, but we want to get into insurance in the main kind of a main street path where people can use this to onboard just insurance applications full on, as opposed to an add-on that we have right now.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it. Maybe you and I can have a separate session.
Plenty
Not
of
to
time.
bore the listeners.
Yes.
Now you have this idea, you know the problem. Walk me through. Did you find how'd you find your team? And then also you went through 300 some calls, got three people believe in you.
Yeah.
That take a lot of work, and I've done that before. So kudos to you. Going through rejections and no's, especially
Yeah.
when you talking to some people you highly respect, and then they just don't believe in you or believe in
Yep.
your idea. That is
Yeah.
a tough cookie to swallow.
Yeah. Right.
And to do it 300 times. Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Traq AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Traq, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Traq automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Traq handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Traq. Visit Traq.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Traq today.
I found my co-founder, Sam. We found each other, I suppose, right, through a friend. Neil Bloom from Interlock Capital, which is a VC here in San Diego. He's more of a community builder, amongst other things, Neil. So he put together these virtual coffee meetups for CTOs in Orange County. It's very specific, right at the end of COVID. And I jumped on it because he asked me to do it. And then the only other person that showed up was my co-founder, future co-founder, Sam. So we started showing each other code or products, whatever we were working on at the time. That's how we met. And we put together a team. We worked on a couple of small projects, and then we put together a team of people that we used to work with. We've been around the industry for a long time. So, for example, right now, our head of products, somebody we worked with before. Our head of user experience was one of my students back at USC. And some of the engineers that we work with today have worked with Sam before. So we basically put together a team quickly, spent about, I don't know, a year to build this thing nonstop. And went to market. We got lucky, attended some shows, and we got some early customers to adopt this stuff. And just if you have one, you have two customers, you have two, you have four, right? So it kind of roll forward like that all the way to last year. We haven't been around for a year yet. We launched our company March 1st of last year. So we're at the end of January. So, we have 2 more months before we can call it a year in play. But with these VCs, I had a conversation with Sam, my co-founder, and said, you know what, we actually have something here that's highly scalable. We can actually take to market. It's a proper SaaS product. People sign up and use. And then we decided to say, you know what, let's raise some money and scale this up. And we joined a couple of accelerators. So we got accepted, you can just join, into Techstars New York City. So actually we spent about 3 weeks in New York City. Sam and I picked up and packed up and lived in New York for 3 weeks, met just about everybody, VCs and otherwise advisors there. And we joined Plug and Play as well out there in Palo Alto. We do track these 2 accelerators. In these accelerators, while we're there, we were heavy on just dialing for dollars, calling every VC that we can get our hands on. And rejections. How do we handle rejections? I guess I've been around the block a couple of times, and I draw the short straw to do sales and marketing for my other companies and this company as well. So I've heard plenty of no's. And somebody was saying this to me the other day, that every no leads to a yes. I guess psychologically speaking, right, it kind of makes sense, right? So I have a thick skin to begin with. And these VCs are very nice. Their job is to meet founders. If you got a good business model, you got a good product, you're in the market, you're making money, even if it's $1, I don't think anybody is gonna, certainly my experience has been that nobody out there and just start trashing you on the call. Everybody's super nice. Hey, this is not the right time. Just slightly out of our thesis, or this is too early, too late, right? They all have a very nice kind of a way out. That's what they do. I have not experienced anybody that says, hell no, straight up no. Then why are we on this call to begin with? But even then, right, it's a 1% game. 300 calls, 3 VCs that wrote us a check at the end is I would do 10, 12 calls a day, back to back. And I compress everything into a 2 to 3 month kind of a process to whittle it down. And if you remember last year, and then last year was probably the worst time raising any type of money. Things softened up quite a bit this year. But if you believe in your product and people sees it, and you have the track record to show for, there is plenty of support out there. I'm saying this to the broader audience. If you say something to the VCs, they will double check and they will call everybody. It's a small world. If you say, hey, this client is paying me this much on whatever, they will call that client and they will ask you basically, with our due diligence, our VC called just about everybody on our that's paying our invoices. Under promise and over deliver. This old adage still works, applies when you talk to VCs. There's no need to over promise anything because they will check you out 100%.
I agree with all of that. Where are you guys at today? Revenue,
Yeah.
development, product development.
Yeah,
And
it's all
what's there
public
to
information.
come? 2025 is gonna be a long year. What's there to come?
Yeah, we're in a hurry. So right now, I just finished my board meeting a couple of days ago, last Thursday. We're on a tier to hire really good salespeople. So if anybody wants to join a high-flying SaaS platform company in fintech, please call me. We're at about 1.1 million ARR at the moment. Some really good clients. So we're having demos every day, every morning, every day. People just sign up. We only have 14 people working in the company, so it's a bona fide SaaS company that was created in the past couple of years. We leverage a lot of technology to help us go to market, develop code and applications are as quickly as possible. That's where we're at. Our goal is to get to about 4 million. That's what I presented to the board for 4+ million ARR by the end of the year. And our average ticket size is about 60 grand ARR. So you can figure out how many clients that I need to book, no matter what. So that's my goal, and I'm just trying to bulk up our sales team right at the moment. Sales, business development, and SDRs if there are still out there that can do some of this work. So yeah, we're in a hurry. 2025 is a long year, but every day counts.
Are your clients business credit unions, right?
Yeah.
What about digital wallet companies?
So our clients span from neobanks, big ones out there, public traded. Not gonna name names here, but we also have banks that we're working with onboard credit cards. I talked about that earlier on this call. We have a lot of point of sale financing folks. We have a lot of embedded finance folks that are pure retail play, but they need to finance, they need to do in the firm like pay in full kind of a thing, but they want to control themselves. So most of them are fintechs. Most of them sit on top of a bank, whether it's a regional bank or a kind of a fintech style bank that wants to work with other fintechs. And then we have a lot of just pure real estate financing companies that use our platform to onboard, to give to their broker network to onboard, deals. There's a lot of that happening. And we have these like other type of mortgage styled companies that are using our system to do simple 1003 applications or these additional dwelling units. We have all, real estate is hard to find now in Southern California. So our government passed a law that if you have a good amount of space on your property, you can build another small, tiny home on top of it, additional dwelling units, ADU. So we have a lot of folks in that space financing these type of properties. So there's a lot of these. It's not all auto loan, not a personal loan, not a credit card, but there's a lot of alternate different types of financing companies out there using our product to go to market really quickly. Either test out their idea or save their money to do advertising or lending themselves, as opposed to hire a $2 million worth of tech team to build something, and that could take 2 years to go to market. So that's what we work with.
Just thinking about that tiny home on people's properties.
Yeah.
Insurance on that would look pretty interesting. Already pretty interesting space in Southern California,
Right.
property insurance.
Yeah, they all have a bona fide street address, like 23 and a half, whatever those addresses are, separate connection to the grid. It's a bona fide separate house, separate home. And a lot of homeowners actually, they've downsized into their backyard. The couple moved into the ADU unit and rent out their home in the front for $4,000 or $5,000 a month and live off that. Lots of people are playing that route. It's very, they have their own mailbox as well. So it's a whole separate kind of a unit. So you're absolutely right. I'm not sure if the traditional insurance companies, I'm sure they figure it out, are set up to underwrite these type of homes, right? Talk after the call tomorrow. Yeah.
So if we have a conversation a year from now, you guys hit your goal of 4 million ARR.
Yeah.
What's next?
So the goal here is after the 4, right, this has to be 10. So when I get to about 4, a pace to get to 4, right, which is about 200,000 a month or thereafter, then I can actually go and speak to A-round investors. And our existing investors are also A-round investors, right? So if I can hit that API, I can just call and say, hey, we'd like to double up or reinvest. And after that, I'm trying to get to about 10 to 20 million ARR. And if you put a reasonable 10x multiple on that, 20 million ARR, it's 200 million, maybe 300 million kind of a valuation. We can take this all the way to IPO, right? Just like a Salesforce for fintech, if you will. Or this could be easily, put a bolt on it and could sell to one of the, Fiserv, FIS, these juggernauts in the banking space for a cool, $250 million. Just depending on timing, right? Is it a 2-3 year play for $200 million of valuation, or is it a 5-7 year play for a $1 billion IPO? So I think the formula is laid out there pretty well. It's all about execution, and all that is just a fancy term for, do you have sales? Right? If you don't, nothing matters. There's no exit.
Nothing matters.
Nothing really matters if you don't have sales and customers using your tool.
So, a thought.
Yeah.
All the changes, political environment, landscape changes.
Yeah.
Trump team is very pro crypto. They just passed a law to allow custodian for banks
Yeah.
to own crypto.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to build an app for the bank to offer to their customers for crypto?
Yeah. So the exchanges, the wallets, there are so many players out there. We're probably not going to build anything in that market. It's already been well thought through. The new legislation definitely has give the green light for adoption, right? Every bank from BlackRock down to our local community bank are all licking at their chops, right, to get into our market. But there's a whole slew of lending lending opportunities. For example, there are lending companies that will lend against your just straight up
Bitcoin.
equity holdings, right?
Mhm.
And there's a couple of them will lend against your crypto holdings. So that's considered an equity now, right? Bona fide. So there will be a lot of lending opportunities for us to say, if you got crypto holding, we have an API call to your wallet or your exchange, and we can read that in on a minute by minute basis. If we need to make a call on the loan, the fiat loan that you need, then we shall. Just like how in my prior life we work with lenders or lend against your Apple stocks, Intel stocks, whatever it might be, there will be a lot of opportunities for us to lend against your crypto holdings. And some of these lending activities lasts an hour, free to take a minute maybe. Some last a couple of days, right? So there might be some opportunities between fiat and crypto if you need to borrow against your holdings to do whatever you need to do in the fiat world without having to let go or liquidate your cryptocurrency. So there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah, and everybody have the same starting time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Would I be the one out there building that? May or may not. But again, we have a lot of 0.1 version 1 issues that we're helping our clients to solve just to launch their product. But certainly crypto AI has been in our conversations with all of our existing clients because they want to get into an opportunity, and we're the tech arm, so to speak, to help them get there. So going back to your earlier question about Anthony Shea, the founder CEO of Loan Depot, he once said to me while I was working with him, because he knows I'm a very sort of a distracted guy. He says, Tim, I don't give a F what you build. Build what the money wants you to build. That's what he said to me, straight up. And I repeat that. I quote him on it all the time. All that means is that, look, you could do whatever you feel like doing, but if there's no market fitness, don't waste your time. So these opportunities will serve itself.
So quote
He's a really straightforward dude. Yeah.
It's a very straightforward quote.
Yep. And you gotta think about what he said, right? It's like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know what I completely forgot the context. I'm sure it was just like a lunch one-on-one or something like that. Or he was trying to instill some of his experience into me or something like that, right? But I remember that quote and I repeat that all the time. It's like, yep, hey, engineer, whatever, right? Yeah, that might be fancy and sexy right now, but let's stick to build what the money wants to build in whatever context that means. That, hey, did the customer really ask for this? Is our market demanding this feature, right? Is it just for, is it a hobby than a money-making feature? Anyways, so there's that tidbit, nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So much to do.
Man,
Yeah.
I am just going through like little ideas here and there of
Yeah.
how your world of what you're building play with the insurance world. So I'm gonna save some time and allow us to have a downline conversation. And then maybe, some of the ideas I can give you, come back to it, and then
Sure.
Timothy lead podcast 2.0 on this podcast. Be like, Jeff, remember that idea?
Yes. We do a stump the chump when I get back onto your podcast, but plenty of ideas, and I believe we build a tool that can quickly launch these ideas. It's a tool that builds other tools. That's what I say to people about Land API. So yeah, whatever you got, we'll spin up another call later. But this has been an awesome journey, and this is what I like to do. It doesn't even feel like working for me. I'm just here solving people's problems. So I don't get tired, exhausted at all, and especially when you have a really cool tool that you build that sometimes we will have clients say, hey, Tim, Sam, let me show you what I built. And we looked at it and they basically, pushing the envelope on some of the stuff that we built in our tool set. I'm like, wow, this is really satisfying when you see people using your application to build something that it was not possible prior. They said this would have been taking me years just to get prioritized with my tech engineering team, and I can go in there and do it myself. It's unbelievable, and that's where we derive a lot of satisfaction out of our work.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, 39 experience on LinkedIn is hard to all cover in one podcast. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be coming on again and we'll have another conversation, just chopping it up. And Tim, I appreciate you coming on this podcast, and you're gonna get an intake form from me and then fill it out. So this way that our audience can follow you, all the things you do.
Sure.
Please make sure you head over to LinkedIn, follow Tim, and thanks everybody for listening.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Bye.